Carrie Coon has risen to prominence thanks to high-profile roles in a number of television shows, including The Leftovers, Fargo, The Sinner, and The Gilded Age. She's also appeared in films including Gone Girl, The Post, and Ghostbusters: Afterlife. Off-screen, she was nominated for a Tony Award for her role in the Broadway revival of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Despite appearing in some of the most talked-about TV series, there's actually a lot about this talented actress that viewers probably don't know about. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Carrie Coon. She didn't consider acting as a career. Though she majored in English and Spanish and minored in psychology, she also played soccer all 4 of her years at the University of Mount Union, took a few theater classes, and ran track. While she continued acting in plays throughout college, it wasn't something she had seriously considered as a profession. As she told The Independent, one of her college professors persuaded her to change her plans and focus on acting. A single role changed her life. Just 4 years after completing graduate school, she was cast in a production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, mounted by Chicago's Steppenwolf Theater. The play proved to be such a success that the production enjoyed a run on Broadway in 2013. The gig ultimately landed her a Tony nomination. Speaking with Rolling Stone, she admitted she continues to be amazed by how that one role sent her life on an entirely different path, even though stardom had never been her game plan. She said, "The idea was never to get famous. I was in my early 30s, living in Chicago. I was doing theater, some voiceovers, and some motion capture work for video games. I could afford my life. I was content." As it happened, TV producer Damon Lindelof was preparing to cast a new HBO series at the time, The Leftovers. As he told Rolling Stone, he was eager to cast actors who hadn't had a lot of on-screen work. When a casting agent who'd seen Coon on Broadway recommended her, Lindelof was blown away by her audition. He said, "Carrie was the first person we hired." She finds her Gone Girl performance horrific to watch. Coon made her feature film debut in 2014, playing Margot Dunn in the big screen adaptation of the crime thriller novel Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher and starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. In 2021, she made headlines when she called that performance horrific to watch. She told The Independent, "I'm one of the actors who feels like I should watch myself, 'cause that's how my habits are revealed to me. But when I watch Gone Girl, all I can see is myself making faces. I think I can note my improvement as The Leftovers goes on. I think I get better, but I find my performance in Gone Girl horrific to watch." That's not to say she regrets Gone Girl. She clarified to The Hollywood Reporter, "I was engaged in a learning process in Gone Girl, and so when I watch Gone Girl, I see my learning process. I see myself learning. That's all I meant." She wasn't the first choice to play Bertha Russell in The Gilded Age. Coon plays the lead role in the HBO series The Gilded Age. However, she wasn't the original actor to be cast as the relentlessly aspiring Manhattan socialite. Amanda Peet had previously been cast as Bertha Russell but left the project due to scheduling conflicts. One thing viewers likely don't realize is that bringing in Coon for the role led the show's costume designer to completely reimagine the character's wardrobe. She told Insider, "I walked into the room and suddenly she had different ideas about the direction she wanted to go in." She was initially hesitant to join the Ghostbusters. She played the role of Callie, the mother to the characters played by Finn Wolfhard and McKenna Grace, all part of the family of original Ghostbuster Egon Spengler. Speaking with Collider, Coon explained that she was afraid that taking the role of Callie might typecast her as a mom. However, it turns out that Callie is much more than that in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and so Coon was happy to take the role. She said, "Yeah, that was certainly one of the things I was afraid of when I first was approached about it. I think of Dee Wallace in E.T., who is a wonderful actress who then sort of became, well, she actually went on, had a really interesting life, but, she became sort of the franchise mom. And I thought about that, but Jason is smarter than that. Jason is the next generation, and he wrote a lot of fun for all of us, and it was one of the reasons I said yes to it. She actually has a personality, a sense of humor, and she does get in on the action, and that was really fun for me. I mean, I'm a Ghostbuster basically, which is insane. I grew up with that movie." She used to be obsessed with the end of the world. Coon held a childhood fascination with the biblical apocalypse, as foretold in the Book of Revelation. When she was 5 years old, she would lie awake at night contemplating the apocalypse. She told The New Yorker, "I was so ready for the end of the world. We weren't evangelicals or anything, but I knew about the Book of Revelation and I knew that Jesus was supposed to come back. She was raised Catholic in Copley, Ohio, and her father had gone to seminary before returning to run the family auto parts store. My parents would be watching Johnny Carson or whatever, and I'd come out of my bedroom and say, "Okay, when is the world ending?" When they assured her that it wouldn't be during her lifetime, she would say, "But you don't know that. We don't know when it's happening." Decades later, she landed a role on the HBO drama The Leftovers, a dark drama set in the days after a Revelation-style rapture event in which 2% of the planet's population mysteriously vanishes. Reading wave helped shape her performance in The Leftovers. Actors find their inspiration for roles in a variety of ways. For Carrie Coon, that inspiration often comes from books. She revealed to Backstage that she would often read when researching a role. That was certainly the case when she was cast as Nora Durst in The Leftovers, a woman who lost her entire immediate family in the rapture-like event that forms the basis for the series. She was able to hone in on Nora's core by reading Wave by Sonali Daraniagala, a Sri Lankan economist whose family was swept away by the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. She told The New Yorker it became a totem, almost like a meditation. I'd read it in the morning, maybe before work, before going through hair and makeup. And then I'd have it on set with me. I could open it to almost any point, and any paragraph would be evocative in a useful way that just reminded you of the magnitude of her loss. A toenail, a dead leaf inside a cricket bag, anything can trigger it. She's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fans of Carrie Coon may not realize that she's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's an easy oversight to make, given that Coon's character, villainous Proxima Midnight in Avengers: Infinity War, is CGI generated. Like many actors who have appeared in Marvel Studios projects, securing the job was a secretive process. She told EW, "I got a voice-over audition, it was not specified what the project was. They were being very secretive about it, but I was given some of the lines that did end up being in the film." She was then asked to do motion capture for the character. The Russos were excited about the possibility of me actually physicalizing the character as well, and they invited me to come down to Atlanta. I was pregnant and doing a play at the time, so I flew down and was on set with them for about 12 hours. Despite the short amount of time she spent on the whole thing, she revealed that Proxima Midnight earned her a lot of attention from fans. She told Collider, "I've signed more autographs for that movie than I have for all of my other work combined." She was asked to return for Avengers Endgame, but she turned it down due to a scheduling conflict. She married in a hospital. Coon is married to Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and Tony-winning actor Tracy Letts. They wed in September 2013 in a hospital. Coon explained that they had gotten their marriage license in Illinois, which requires you to get married within 60 days of registering, or else you need to go back to City Hall and re-register. On day 59, Coon and Letts were planning to get married the next day when Letts didn't feel well. After heading to the emergency room, Letts was rushed in for emergency gallbladder surgery. Still, the two didn't want to have to re-register, so they were married in the hospital. She joked, "My husband was so high. His gown was slightly off the shoulder." Her pregnancy was hidden in The Gilded Age. Coon was pregnant while filming season 1 of The Gilded Age. She relied on intricately corseted costumes to hide the pregnancy. She told Entertainment Tonight, "There were a few months where I got to wear the costumes as they existed. But when we came back, I had to put strings on the back of all of them." She said the costume department did such an amazing job of hiding it that a lot of people working in post-production didn't know I was pregnant.